Hi guys, welcome back to Cheetah World. So today, with it being October and Halloween coming up soon, today we're on the Homestar Runner Wiki and reading every costume that each character's worn in a Halloween toon and what the costume is and who wore it, what's the title, and all that kind of crazy stuff. So today we'll be reading from today we'll be reading the costumes of the King of Town, Coach C, Bubs, Homestar Runner, Strong Bad, Strong Mad, The Cheat, Pom Pom, Marzipan, Strong Sad, and the Poopsmith, and a few other surprise characters. So let's get started, shall we? So first, we're going to begin with the with the 2001 Homestar Halloween party costumes on the very first one, starting with the King of Town as Captain Crunch or Captain Crunch, but I like to just say Captain Crunch. But anyways, the King of Town as the King of Town as Captain Crunch. Captain Crunch is the mascot for a line of cereal products produced by Quaker Oats. Its flagship product is a frosted corn and oat cereal with other varieties including Crunch Berries, with red, purple, and blueberry flavored puffs, and peanut butter crunch. Alright, so there's Captain Crunch, or Captain Crunch, however you like to say it. Alright, next is Coach C as Flavor Flav. Coach C is a rap art. Wait, sorry. Next is Coach C as Flavor Flav. Flavor Flav is a rap artist and a member of the rap group Public Enemy, in which he provided the comic foil to the more serious and political figure of Chuck D. Flav was, and still is, known for his flashy fashion sense, especially his taste for wearing large clocks around his neck. In more recent years, Flav has been known for his turns on reality television shows like The Surreal Life and Flavor of Love. Coach C's clock reads 3:57. Ne- Alright, so there's the King of Town and Coach C so far. Next we have Bubs as real. So that was Coach C as Flavor Flav. Next is Bubs as Rerun. Freddie Rerun Freddie Rerun Stubbs was one of the main characters on the 1970s sitcom What's Happening, played by actor Fred Berry, always wearing a red beret and suspenders. Rerun was known for his girth, his dancing ability, and his comparative lack of intelligence, as he had been held back in school multiple times, hence why he was called Rerun. Barry played Rerun from 1976 until 1979, and again from 1985 until 1986, on the sequel series What's Happening Now, and became so identified with the character that he legally changed his middle name to Rerun. Alright, next up is Homestar Runner as Kurt Cobain. Kurt Cobain was the leader of the grunge rock band Nirvana, one of the more commercially successful grunge bands of the era. The shirt Homestar wears says "Cooperate Rock Still Sucks." The motto of SST Records, a favorite label of Cobain's, and he famously wore a T-shirt parodying the motto on a Rolling Stone cover. Cobain died on April 5th, 1994, from what was officially ruled as suicide. A suicide. Sorry, read that wrong. Strong. Now we have Strong Bad as Carmen Miranda. Carmen Miranda, 1909 to 1955, was a Portuguese-Brazilian singer-actress, nicknamed the Brazilian Bombshell. Beginning in 1939, Miranda would often be seen performing wearing hats adorned with fruit, like the one Strong Bad is wearing. She was the inspiration for the famous Cooperate logo adopted by Chiquita Brands in 1944. Strong Mad as Slim Goodbody. Slim Goodbody is a fictional character created and performed by John Burstein. Burstein designed Slim as a way to teach young children about anatomy and good health. and describes his alter ego as the superhero of health. His costume consists of a flesh-covered bodysuit with pictures of the human body bones, with the human body's bones and internal organs painted on it. Interesting. The cheat as Garfield. Garfield is the lead character in the comic strip of the same name, drawn by Jim Davis. He is a fat, lazy orange striped cat that loves to eat lasagna, lie around the house, and take naps. One of his prized possessions is his teddy bear Pokey, which the cheat is holding next to him. Pom Pom as Mr. Stay Puft. The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man was the mascot for the fictional snack Stay Puft Marshmallows in the 1984 film Ghostbusters. The demon Gozer took his form to destroy the Ghostbusters in the world after Ray Stantz inadvertently thought of Mr. Stay Puft when attempting to clear his mind. Let me guys know in the comments if you watched that movie. I haven't, but maybe someday I will. Marzipan as Jeannie. Jeannie was the title character of the 1960s sitcom I Dream of Jeannie. Played by Barbara Eden, she was a 2,000-year-old genie trapped inside a bottle until astronaut Captain Tony Nelson set her free. For 5 seasons, Jeannie would constantly cause Nelson trouble with her antics. The costume Jeannie originally wore caused controversy because of how much of Eden's body was exposed. Alright, only two more left for this one. Strong sat as Gorbachev. Mikhail Gorbachev, March 2nd, 1931 to August 30, 2022, was the final president of the Soviet Union, serving from 1985 until 1991. Gorbachev was also famous for having a prominent port wine stained birthmark on the right side of his head. Strongsad's is on the left side, like that part right here. Alright, then finally, the Poopsmith as Tron. Tron is a character played by Bruce Boxleitner in a 1982 film Tron, in which a hacker was abducted into a computer world. Alright, so that's everyone for the first one. Now on to the house that gave sucky treats. Alright, so not to be confused with the house that gave sucky tricks. Though it's the house that gave sucky treats. We'll get to the house that gave sucky tricks later, but for now it's the house that gave sucky treats. Coetzee as Humpty Hump. Humpty Hump was one of the alter egos of rapper Gregory Shock G. Jacobs, a member of the hip-hop group Digital Underground. When performing as Humpty Hump, Jacobs typically wore a pair of Groucho glasses and colorful buffoonish clothes. Kochi is dressed in Humpty Hump's outfit from the music video for the Humpty Dance, when he quotes when the door is which he quotes when the door is opened. All right. The King of Town as Hagar the Horrible. Hagar is the title character of the comic strip Hagar the Horrible, which was created by Dick Brownie. Debuted in newspapers in 1973 and is currently drawn by Brownie's son, Chris. He is a Danish Viking warrior who regularly goes off to invade England and humorously interacts with his crew and family. Hagar is known for his incredible appetite, much like the King of Town, and the running gag involves Hagar's doctor telling him to lose weight. Alright. Next is the King of Town's Knight, or also known as the Knight, as Idaho. The Knight's costume refers to an episode of The Simpsons called Springfield, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love Legalized Gambling. A subplot to the episode involves a geography pageant with Lisa Simpson participates, which Lisa Simpson participates. Ralph Wiggum appears in the pageant as Idaho, which with his costume simply being a piece of paper with Idaho written on it and taped to his shirt. Alright, hence the knight's costume. And next is the King of Town's Hornblower, also known as just the Hornblower as BC. BC is a comic strip that was created by Johnny Hart in 1958 and set in prehistoric times. The title character, a caveman, often plays the native straight man, but the likely model for this costume is the character Thor, the inventor of the wheel who found no better use for it than riding around on it as Hornblower demonstrates. Alright, now getting back to the main characters. We have the cheetah's Punchy. Punchy, also known as the Hawaiian Punch Guy, is the cartoon mascot of Hawaiian Punch, a brand of fruit punch made by the Dr. Pepper Snapple Group. His long-time catchphrase was, "Hey, how about a nice Hawaiian punch?" If he got an affirmative response, he would punch the unfortunate responder. Then Strong Mad as the Fridge. William the Refrigerator Perry is a former football player who played in the National Football League from 1985 until 1994, mostly for the Chicago Bears. Perry played defensive tackle, but early in his career, he was also used as a fullback in short yardage and goal line situation. He was also used as a fullback in short yardage and goal line situations. In his rookie season with the Bears, he scored 4 offensive touchdowns, which included one in Super Bowl XX or Super Bowl 20. In addition to his girth, he was also known for his gape-toothed grin, which Strong Matt is attempting to emulate. Right there, and it looks like he's also number 72 as it is on Strong Matt's jersey. Next is Marzipan as Joey Ramone. Wait. Alright, sorry, just so you can see her better. There we go. Marzipan as Joey Ramone. Jeffrey Hyman, May 1951 to April 15, 2001. Better known as Joey Ramone, was the vocalist of the legendary rock group Ramones. Although none of the band members are related, all adopted synonyms ending with the surname Ramone. Ramones is often considered the first tune punk rock band in their musical style and minimalist fashion set trends for the genre. Marzipan quotes Bilzer Crick Bop, the first band single, sorry, yeah. Alright. Then the Poop Smith as Laser Tag. Laser tag was created in 1986 by toymaker Worlds of Wonder. Using laser tag equipment, players could shoot sensors worn by other players to tag them. The laser tag brand is currently licensed by Hasbro, while the generic term laser tag is used to describe various toys and games using similar technology. Interesting. Pom Pom as Michael Moore. Michael Moore is an American filmmaker and author who is from Flint, Michigan, hence the pin on Pom Pom's shirt and his Detroit Tigers baseball cap. I love Flint, or I heart Flint. Moore's specialty is documentaries, where he presents his views on issues from perspective, from a liberal political perspective with humor and satirical pieces mixed in. Among his more famous works are Roger and Me Bowling for Columbia and Fahrenheit 9/11. Interesting. Homestar as Wimpy. J. Wellington Wimpy, often shorted to just Wimpy, is a character from the Popeye series of comic strips and cartoons. Wimpy made his first appearance in the Popeye franchise in 1931. Wimpy's favorite food is hamburgers, and he helped play a significant role in popularizing the hamburger in the United States to the point that a chain of restaurants was named for him. His famous line, his famous line, "I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today," is parodied by Homestar in this tune, where he says he'll gladly pay you Tuesday for some candy today. So that's interesting, a nice cool reference. Next is Strong Badass Carmen Sandiego. Carmen Sandiego, misspelled as Carmen Sandiego in the tune, is the lead character in a series of edu- edutainment computer games first developed in the 1980s. Carmen is a glamorous, intelligent, arrogant criminal mastermind who, as leader of criminal organization Vile, pilfers various landmarks from around the world. The games became so popular that they spawned a multimedia franchise with notable spin-offs, including a PBS children's game show and a Saturday morning cartoon series, which is interesting. Next is Strong Side as Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol, August 6, 1928 to February 22, 1987, was an American painter and major figure in the pop art movement. One of his famous works was a series of paintings of cans of Campbell soup. He is famous for saying that he was obsessed with repetition and boredom, making him a primary candidate to be Strongsad's costume. And there's a reference in the tune where you can give Strongside Campbell soup, which is a reference to Andy Warhol since he painted it, which is interesting. Next is Bubs as Mars Blackmon. Mars Blackmon, misspelled as Mars Blackman in the tune, was a character first played by Spike Lee in his 1986 film She's Gotta Have It. Bubs's costume refers to a series of black and white commercials promoting Nike's line of basketball shoes, where Lee co-starred as Blackmon alongside NBA star Michael Jordan and remarked regarding Jordan's abilities that it's gotta be the shoes. Interesting. And finally is Homestar Runner as the Greatest American Hero. The Greatest American Hero is a TV show that aired from 1981 to 1983 on ABC. It starred William Catt as Ralph Hinckley, a divorced special education teacher who obtains superpowers with a red suit given to him by space aliens. The show's theme song, which Homestar parodized in the tune, was a popular hit that reached number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1981, which is interesting. So that's all the costumes. However, they show some rejected um costumes here too on this page. Pom Pom as the Skipper, Marzipan as Velma Dinkley, and Coach C as the Noid. If you know who any of those characters are, let me know in the comments. I mean, I know who Velma Dinkley is, but still. Alright, so moving on to the next tune, which is Pumpkin Carnival. Just giving it a second to load. There we go. Strong Bad as Homestar as Agnes Young. See Homestar's costume for information on Agnes Young. Strong Bad wore this costume as part of an elaborate prank on the others. The cheat as Russell. Russell Cosby is a character from the 1970s cartoon series Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids. His older brother Bill is a member of Fat Albert's Junkyard Gang, and Russell was known for always trying to tag along with the rest of the gang, regardless of their feelings towards him. His catchphrase was "no class," which was often used to insult gang member Rudy. The characters of the Cosby brothers were modeled after series creator Bill Cosby and his younger brother Russell, which is interesting. Next is Strong Side as Vivian. Vivian was one of the four main characters in The Young Ones, a British alternative comedy series that ran from 1981 until 1984 on BBC Two. Played by um, Adrian Edmondson, Vivian was a medical student that was also a very violent punk rocker. He had several metal star-shaped studs embedded into his regularly assaulted his roommates, and did many strange things as eat a television set and his own retouch his own severed head. Wow. Next is the King of Town as Mario. Mario is a video game character who is considered to be the face of Nintendo and the most recognizable video game character in history. Named after Mario Segale, the owner of the building Nintendo of America was originally located in. He is the most famous creation of Nintendo Shigeru Miyamoto and has appeared in a wide variety of most notably the Super Mario series. The Mario franchise has also crossed over into other media, including several cartoon series and a feature film based on the character. Next is Strong Mad as a Ghost. Although not as widely used as it once was, the ghost costume is considered to be one of the all-time classics and so widely known that it even made its way into a Charlie Brown Halloween special. It is it is a simple costume to assemble, consisting of a white sheet with two holes cut in the top to make the eyes, and assure that the person wearing it can see. Of course, strong mad, the holes are over his mouth instead of his eyes, which is interesting. Next is Coach Z as Kid. Christopher Kid Reid was a member of the late 80s hip hop duo Kid and Play, who were one of the first rap groups to become kid friendly. They had a Saturday morning cartoon show and starred in the House Party series of movies. Next is the Poopsmith as a Sleestack. The Sleestacks were a group of villainous lizard-like humanoids who lived in the society that the Marshall family stumbled into on the 1974 Sid and Marty Krofft series, Land of the Lost. The Poopsmith can also be seen wearing this costume during TrogdorCon 97. Next is Homestar as Ghost Dog. Ghost Dog is the title character of the 1999 film Ghost Dog: The Way of the Samurai. Played by actor Forrest Whitaker, he is an African American hitman who models himself after the ideal Japanese samurai. Next is Pom Pom as the Kool-Aid Man. The Kool-Aid Man, as his name implies, is the mascot for the Kool-Aid line of drinks produced by Kraft Foods. Originally developed as Pitcher Man in 1954, he is giant anthropomorphic. He is a giant anthropomorphic glass drink pitcher with red Kool-Aid inside. His trademark entrance is to answer calls from thirsty children by break through walls to cheer, "Oh yeah," and other and offer Kool-Aid. He has a name given, Frankie. Marzipan as Left Eye Lopes. Lisa Left Eye Lopes was a member of the Atlanta-based R&B trio TLC, where she sang and played keyboard. The Black Stripe, and where she sang and played keyboard. The black stripe under Marzipan's eye was one of Loop's trademark looks. She died in a car crash in Honduras in April 2002, 6 months prior the release of Pumpkin Carnival. The Goblin as Strong Bad as the Bee from Nature. You know, the animal bee. Strong Bad was found to actually be the Goblin in a Strong Bad costume. Bubs as Captain Albano. Captain Lou Albano was a professional wrestler and later a manager of various wrestlers and tag teams. One of his trademarks was having rubber bands hanging from piercings in his face. As Bubs tries to emulate. After retiring from wrestling, Albano went into acting, with his most widely known role being Mario in the 1989 syndicated television series The Super Mario Bros. Super Show, which I watched when I was little, and the King of Town was Mario in that tune, so that's pretty cool. Next and finally is Homestar Runner as Agnes Young. Agnes Young is the lead guitarist for the Australian heavy metal band AC/DC. His trademarks are playing in a schoolboy uniform and his antics on stage, which include rolling around on the floor. Well, that's interesting. Alright, so now we're moving on to 3 times Halloween Fun Job. Hey guys, so I took a break to adjust my microphone and I think I sound better now. Alright, so now we have 3 times Halloween Fun Job. In it, Marzipan and Strong's had summoned spirits. Homestar and her friends go trick or treating, and Strong bad in his gang toilet paper and egg. Alright, so costumes. Strong sat as David Bryan. David Bryan rose to prominence as lead singer of the band Talking Heads, beginning as part of the punk slash new wave movement of the late 70s. The band was quickly distinguished for their experimental lyrical lycra- lyrical and instruments style and the nervous energy of Brian's vocals. He records today as a solo artist. Strongside is wearing Brian's big suit from the 1984 Talking Heads concert film Stop Making Sense, along with the glasses he wears when performing Once in a Lifetime. Next is Marzipan as the Log Lady. Margaret La- Latterman, aka the Log Lady, was a character on the 1990 TV series Twin Peaks, played by Catherine E. Coulson. She was an she was an eccentric recluse who carried a log around, which she believed spoke to her. Next is Strong Mad as Magnum PI. Magnum PI is a television show set in Hawaii that ran from 1980 through 1988. Strong Mad is dressed as Thomas Magnum, the title character played by Tom Selleck, who worked as a private detective. Magnum was frequently seen wearing aloha shirts and was a Detroit Tigers fan, hence the costume. We can also see he's carrying a piece of or a roll of toilet paper, which is interesting. Next is Strong Badass Ozone. Ozone is a character from the film Breakin' and Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo, played by professional breakdancer Adolfo Shabadoo Quiones. Next is the Cheat as Izzy. Izzy was the mascot of the 1996 Olympic Games in Atlanta. His story is that he is a creature called what what is it who lives inside the Olympic flame. He is often considered to be the least popular of all Olympic mascots. Mike Chapman created the Homestar Runner universe while working on light rigging for the Australian telecasts of those games. Interesting. The King of Town as the Hamburglar. Hamburglar is one of the mascots for the McDonald's chain of restaurants. He always tries to steal Ronald McDonald's hamburgers, and his catchphrase is "Robble Robble." Homestar Runner as John McEnroe. John McEnroe is a former professional tennis player regarded as one of the best players of his day. Effective as both a singles and doubles player, winning both tournaments at Wimbledon and the U.S. Open multiple times. McEnroe McEnroe won over 70 titles in both disciplines and was the first player to be ranked as both the top singles player and the top doubles player in the world. He was just as widely known for arguing intensely with chair umpires and line judges when he felt they missed a call, and also for the afro hairstyle he sported for much of his early career. Pom Pom as Kamala, the Ugandan giant. Kamala was a professional wrestler that was supposedly from the tribes of the Ugandan jungle, known for his wild and untamed style, while he terrorized his opponents in and out of wrestling rings throughout the world. The character was portrayed by James Harris, who first appeared as Kamala in the early 1980s and wrestled under that name until he retired in 2011. Coach Z as Cuomo D. Cuomo D. Monhandis Duez was a member of one of the pioneering old school hip hop groups. The treacherous hip hop groups The Treacherous Three from the late 1970s to mid 1980s. The influential rapper released his first solo album in 1986. His publicity photos, he all In publicity photos, he always wore the cylindrical leather hat that Coach C is wearing here. Bubs as Mel. Melvin Mel Sharpless was a manager of Mel's Diner in the film Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore and the 70s TV sitcom Alice. His role was played by Vic Tayback from 1976 to 1985, where he constantly worked alongside fellow waitress Flo Rents. Kiss My Girl, Kiss My Grits, Castleberry, and Vera Gorman for comedic purposes. Wait. Stinko Man as Speed Racer. Speed Racer is the title character in the classic anime Speed Racer or Match Go 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 in Japan. Speed Racer or Go Mifune is a young stock car racer who strives to win in the cutthroat world of racing. In It was one of the first anime to be imported into North America and du- dubbed, giving many people their first taste of Japan animation. Giving Stinkoman the Akira jar will make his arm explode into a grotesque organic tendril, which is a reference to the 1988 film Akira. That's interesting. The Poopsmith as M. Bison. M. Bison, known as Vega in the original Japanese release, is a character in the popular Capcom video game series Street Fighter. Bison is typically a main antagonist in the series, a dictator seeking world domination who wields a supernatural psycho power. Homestar as Slash. Slash, Sal Hudson, is a musician often considered among the greatest guitar players in history. He is famous for his trademark top hat and curly hair, and has performed a leading role in bands Guns N' Roses, Slash Snake Pit, and Velvet Revolver. He also has a cigarette, or a cigar, or I think that's a cigarette, yeah. Not a pipe, a cigarette. And his shirt says Slash, which is cool. And finally, the Goblin as Santa Claus slash Santa Man. The Goblin shows up in most Halloween Toons. In this instance, he is dressed up as Santa Claus, or according to Homestar, as Santa Man. The Man has also popped up in December and July. In December Ween and July. Alright, next we have Halloween Festival. Wait, I think that's it. Just give me 1 second. Okay, yeah, sorry. That's next. Strong Bad as Caesar Romero as the Joker. In the 1960s Batman television series, the role of the Joker was played by veteran actor Cesar Romero. One of Romero's trademarks was his mustache, and because he refused to shave it off his makeup was simply applied over it. Hence the prominent mustache in Strong Bad's costume. Right there. The cheetah Sigmund. Sigmund is the title character of the popular early 70s children's TV show Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. He ran away from his family and was befriended by two boys. It's a kind of cute costume for the cheat. Strong Mad as Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace is a professional basketball player who played from 1996 until 2012 for five NBA teams. He is one of four players in the history of the National Basketball Association to lead the league in rebounds and blocks in the same season and won a championship in 2004 playing for the Detroit Pistons, the team he was wearing for when this cartoon was released. For a period of time, Wallace was also famous for wearing his hair in a wild afro style, and he seems to be the Pistons' number three. That's interesting. Coach C as Tupac. Tupac Shakur, also known as Pac, Tupac, and Machiavelli, was a best-selling rap artist. His first album, Tupacalypse Now, was released in 1991. Near the end of his career and life, he was controversially sentenced to jail for 4.5 years for sexual abuse. He was murdered in 1996 at the age he was murdered in 1996 at the age of 25. Coach C has Tupac's Drug Life tattoo on, although it's spelled Throg Life, like Coach C's accent. Throg Life, right there. Strong side as David Bowie. David Bowie was a British rock and roll musician, actor, and artist who has had a profound influence on rock and roll from the 1960s until his death in 2016. He is best known and regarded for his work with glam and experimentalism in the 1970s. Although his commercial success is limited, and in the 1980s, Bowie had a great success in releasing his music and made an unabashed bid for commercial success. Strongstad's costume was inspired by the cover of the 1973 Bowie album Aladdin Sane. Alright. Bubs as one of the three most important people in the world. The three most important people in the world are characters in the film Bed and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Bubs is dressed as the person played by Clarence Clemons, legendary saxophonist for Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. The other two most important people were played by Martha Davis of the Motels and Fee Waybill of the Tubes. Wait, oh sorry. Mouse wasn't working for a sec. The King of Town as the Mayor of Halloween Town. The Mayor of Halloween Town is a character in the animated movie Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Directed by Henry Selick, the movie is about the efforts of the citizens of Halloween Town where Halloween is made to make Christmas. Glenn Shaddix provided his voice. Like the Mayor of Halloween Town, the King of Town switches his face around depending on his mood. Interesting. And the ribbon on his shirt says King. King. You know? Yeah. Pom Pom as the Big Boy. Big Boy is the mascot for the restaurant chain Bob's Big Boy, or just Big Boy. The Poopsmith as Lion-O. Lion-O is a character in the cartoon Thundercats. He is the leader of the Thundercats who came from Thundera to Third Earth. Homestar as Kumar. Kumar is a character from Wes Anderson's Bottle Rocket, played by Kumar Palana. Marzipan as Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson is a legendary country artist and hippie associated with the outlaw country movement of the 1970s and the Farm Aid Project of 1985. For many years, Nelson sported two long braids like the ones Marzipan is wearing, until he decided to cut them off in 2010. Final one, Final costume for this tune is Homestar Runner as Carl Spackler. Carl is Bill Murray's groundskeeper character in Caddyshack. He hunts gophers. Carl most famously imagines himself as a Cinderella story out of nowhere while destroying several flowers in the movie. Huh, interesting. Never watched that movie. Let me know in the comments if you guys have. Alright, moving on to Halloween Potion Magic costumes. We're just gonna wait. Alright, but before we continue, let me guys know in the comments down below what you guys are dressing up as for Halloween this year. Alright, so Halloween Potion Magic costumes. Homestar Runner as Moocher. Moocher was a character in the 1979 film Breaking Away and subsequent TV show of the same name. He was played by Jackie Early Harley, Early Haley, and his shirts as Cutters. That's interesting. Pom Pom as Walter Sobchak. Walter Sobchak is a Vietnam veteran owner of Sobchak Security, bowler and friend of the Dude, played by John Goodman in the 1998 Coen Brothers movie The Big Lebowski. Coach Lee as Theo Huxtable. Theo is one of five children born to Cliff and Claire Huxtable on the television series The Cosby Show, and is their only son. He was portrayed by Malcolm Jamal Warner. The shirt Coach C is wearing is from the first season episode, a shirt story, in which Denise tries to hand make Theo a designer shirt and butchers it in the process. So Coach C usually dresses up as rappers, but Theo Huxtable isn't a rapper, but Coach C thinks he's a rapper. So we'll just leave him to think that. Moving on, the King of Town as Colonel Sanders. Colonel Harlan Sanders, 1890 to 1980, was the founder and mascot of the Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurant franchise. The king is dressed in Sanders' trademark white suit with string tie and goatee. Sanders began wearing this outfit after his commission as a Kentucky colonel, and dressed the same way in public for the final 20 years of his life. And the chicken bucket reads KNFNC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. I don't know what the N stand for, but yeah. Next is the Poopsmith as Ukla the Mock. Ukla the Mock is a cat-like humanoid character from the 1980s cartoon series Thunder the Barbarian. Along with Princess Ariel, Ukla helped Thunder fight evil in a post-apocalyptic society set 2,000 years into the future. Next is Hamsar as Tingle. Tingle is a delusional map-making man from Nintendo's Legend of Zelda video game series. He thinks he's a fairy, hence the clothes, floating around on his Tingle balloon and throwing confetti when hearing the hero are two of his most when helping the hero are two of his most common traits, which Hamsar parodies. He also has created his own magic words, Tingle Tingle, Kululimpa. Strong Mad as Gossamer. a classic Looney Tunes monster, an antagonist of Bugs Bunny. Gossamer is easily distracted by anyone willing to give him a manicure or TNT-laced hairdo. Despite his usually terrifying appearance, Gossamer runs in fear from the monsters in the audience. People. Strong Badass Zombie. Zombie is a genie character created by Paul Reubens that first appeared as part of his 1981 stage production, The Pee Wee Herman Show, and later appeared as a character on the 1986 television series Pee Wee's Playhouse. Played by John Paragon, 1954 to 2021. Zombie was a floating head that resided in a box, hence Strongbad's wearing of a box surrounding his head, and would often appear whenever someone said the word wish. Wish? Did somebody say wish? In order to grant wishes, Zombie chanted Mecca Lecca Hi, Mecca Hini Ho, Hini Ho, and the phrase became the character's trademark. The Cheetah's Toad. A mushroom servant from Nintendo's Super Mario Brothers video game series. Toad is also the name given to the entire race of mushroom people. Toad typically appears to assist the player, but is also regardedly playable in multiplayer games. As a denizen, denizen of the Mushroom Kingdom, Toad is a attendant to Princess Peach. Speaking of Mario, Super Mario Bros. Wonder's coming soon. I'm excited to play that game on the channel, and then and not on the channel. You know what I mean. Next, we have Bubbles as Apollo Creed, a character played by Carl Weathers in the Rocky series of movies. In Rocky, Apollo Creed is the undefeated world champion whom Rocky Balboa fights in the climatic fight of the movie. In later films, they become friends. Interesting. Let me know if you've seen any Rocky movies. I haven't seen any, but they're like old movies of a boxer. Strong status Devo member. Devo, short for De-Evolution, is an American new wave punk band known for their quirky outfits and cult status since their appearance in the late 80s. The biggest hit was 1980's Whip It, although are well known for other songs like Girl You Want, Beautiful World, and Joko Homo. Strong status dressed as the band members dressed for the Freedom of Choice album cover and the Girl You Want music video, including the famous red energy dome hat. His glasses indicate that he is probably lead singer Mark Mothersbaugh or possibly drummer Alan Myers. Leave in the comments down below, guys, who do you think he's dressed up as? Strong status. Wait, no. Whoops, sorry. Marzipan as Beaker. Beaker is a Muppet character who serves as Dr. Bunsen Honeydew's hapless lab assistant on The Muppet Show. Where Muppet Labs, many experiments would go airy at his expense. Much like the Chief, Beaker typically only speaks in nervous, high-pitched meeps. Okay, next on to Happy Holiday. Happy Holiday costumes. Strong Mad as the Max. The Max is a superhero from an eponymous comic book series written and illustrated by Sam Keith, with writing assistance from William Menser Lobes earlier on in the series, and from Alan Moore in a later issue, and published by Image Comics. It was later adapted into a 15-minute animated TV show on MTV. Wait, sorry. Just wanted to get a full on the character. The cheetah's Gizmo. Gizmo is a creature called the Mogwai from the 1984 movie Gremlins and its 1990 sequel Gremlins 2, the new batch. Gizmo is allergic to sunlight, which Strongstad refers to in an Easter egg. strong badass Father Guido Sarducci. Father Guido Sarducci was a character played by Don Novello. Novello. The character is most well known from his many appearances on Saturday Night Live. Wait, sorry. Homestar runner as Teen Wolf. Teen Wolf was a 1985 comedy film starring Michael J. Fox as Scott Howard, a high school student who discovers his family's particular heritage when he turns into a werewolf. Homestar's costume refers to several scenes in Teen Wolf where Scott plays basketball as the wolf. Let me guys know in the whoops. Let me guys know in the comments down below if you've seen that movie. Next to Strong Sad as Tony Clifton. Tony Clifton was a character created by comedian Andy Kaufman. He Kaufman. He has also been played by Kaufman's friend Bob Zumuda. Clifton was a former celebrity who became a lounge singer and had a crude demeanor and a nasal and annoying singing voice. Pom Pom as Mario Batali. Mario Batali is an American chef and former Food Network personality. Batali's specialty is Italian cuisine, and he was featured on both his own show, Molto Mario, and as one of the Iron Chefs on Iron Chef America. He was one of the hosts of the Chew, a food-centric lifestyle talk on ABC from 2011 to 2017, and he was fired for multiple cases of sexual misconduct. And it says Molto on his shirt. Marzipan is Frida Kahlo. Frida Kahlo, July 6, 1907 to July 13th, 1954, was a Mexican painter who depicted the indigenous culture of her country in a style combining realism, symbolism, and surrealism. In a an active communist supporter, she was the wife of Mexican muralist and Cubist painter Diego Rivera. Her many self-portraits were notoriously unflattering unflattering, and often accentuated her mustache and unibrow. All right. Coachy as Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah, born Dana Ellie Owens on March 18, 1970, is a German-winning American rapper-singer and Academy Award-nominated actress. Coachy's costume specifically depicts Queen Latifah as she appeared in her African-inspired music video for Ladies First. Bubs as Coach McGurk. Coach McGurk is a character voiced by H. John Benjamin from the television show Home Movies. He is Brendan and Melissa's soccer coach, an overweight, alcoholic, incompetent coach of an incompetent team who constantly gives Brendan bad advice. Huh, interesting. Sorry. The King of Town as the Gorton's Fisherman. The Gorton's Fisherman is the longtime advertising mascot for Gorton's of Gloucester, a company that makes and sells frozen seafood products. His name is used in the company's slogan, Trust the Gorton's Fisherman. The Poopsmith as Necron 99. Necron 99 is a character from Ralph Bakshi's animated post-apocalypse science fiction fantasy film Wizards. Necron 99 is a robot sent by the mutant wizard Black Wolf to kill those who believe in magic. Homestar is Ed Grimley. Edward Mayhoff Ed Grimley was a character created and played by Canadian actor Martin Short. first seen on SCTV in 1982. Sh- Short later appeared as Grimly on Saturday Night Live in his own Saturday morning cartoon, The Completely Mental Misadventures of Ed Grimley. Well, that's everyone for Happy Holiday. But before we continue, if you are enjoying this video, drop a like on it and subscribe. And let me know what other videos I should do. Because for videos like this, I make learning fun. Because we're learning about what the characters are. Alright, next is Ghibli's 2. There's no Ghibli's 1, but there's Ghibli's 2. Alright. Strong Mad as Nikolai Volkov. Nikolai Volkov, born Joseph Perzovic, October 14th to 9, October 14, 1947 to July 29th, 2018, was a professional wrestler in the WWF. Although he was portrayed as a Russian, he was born in Croatia. He was perhaps best known for playing a communist villain in the height of the Cold War. In the early 70s, he was managed by Captain Lou Albano, but reached the height of his fame in the 80s, forming a tag team with the Iron Sheik, when he would frequently sing the national anthem of the Soviet Union, and as Strongman mentions, carry the nation's flag to the ring. And his shirt says USSR, which is pretty cool, and I like his red star on his hat. The Stick-Ass Lowly Worm. Lowly Worm is a character from Richard Scarry's series of children's books set in the world of Busy Town. Although rarely mentioned in the text, Lowly Worm would often make cameo appearances in the illustrations. He was also a main character in the Busy World of Richard Scarry, a television series based on Scarry's work. The Cheetah's Penfold. Ernest Penfold is a character on the English animated television series Danger Mouse. Voiced by Terry Scott, later Kevin Eldon, Penfold is a cowardly hamster who is the often captured sidekick to Danger Mouse. Strong Badass Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is a titular character of the Tim Burton comedy film Beetlejuice. Played by Michael Keaton, Beetlejuice is a bio-exorcist who is hired by two ghosts to scare a yuppie family away from their house. The movie has been adapted into an animated series and a Broadway musical. Marzipan as Prince. Prince, 1958 to 2016, was an American musician whose music has spanned many genres including funk, R&B, and soul. He pioneered the style of music known as the monopolist sound, a name changed to an unpronounceable symbol. In 1993, prompted many in the media to dub him the artist formerly known as Prince. Marzipan is wearing the outfit and hairstyle Prince wore on the cover of his 1984 album Purple Rain. The guitar, however, is the yellow cloud guitar used by Prince in the late 1980s and early 1990s. Homestar Runner as Artie, the strongest man in the world. Artie, the strongest man in the world, played by Toby Huss, was an eccentric character on the Nickelodeon TV show The Adventures of Pete and Pete. He was the professional superhero of Little Pete Wrigley, similar to Homestar's usage in the Toons Easter egg. He would always refer to himself as the strongest man in the world. He left the show after the second season. Gee, that's too bad. When I saw he was dressed up as the strongest man in the world, I thought it was that movie my siblings watched, but I guess apparently he was not. Strong sat as the fat kid from the Far Side. The Fat Kid was one of the many unnamed stock characters that regularly appeared in Gary Larson's comic strip The Far Side. Pom Pom as a Cacodemon, one of the demonic enemy creatures from the groundbreaking first-person shooter video game Doom. Doom. When given the Ghiblis, the costume's mouth glows similar to when a cacodemon prepares its ball lightning attack. Bubs as Ross from You Can't Do That on Television. Ross was the stage manager of the Canadian children's show You Can't Do That on Television, played by actor Leslie Lai. Coach the So So Def recording logo. So So Def Recordings is a record label based out of Atlanta, Georgia, and founded by Jermaine Dupri. Specializing in Southern hip hop, R&B, and bass music, Coach C is dressed up as the label's mascot, the So So Def Afro Man. The King of Town as Rev Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton is an African American politician, minister, and activist. He has run for elected office several times and in 2004 was a candidate for the Democratic nomination for president. He has made cameo appearances in many movies and TV shows and hosts a radio talk show. Alright, just give me a minute, guys. I need some water. Mm, mm. Sorry about that. Alright, two more to go. The Poop Smith as Doc Brown. Doc Emmett L. Brown is one of the protagonists in the Back to the Future film trilogy, played by Christopher Lloyd. The Poopsmith is wearing his outfit presumably procured from the year 2015, which is featured in the final scene of the first Back to the Future movie and the first two acts of Back to the Future Part 2. Homestar is Noonie Noonie Noo typewriter guy. One of the recurring segments in the educational children's show Sesame Street featured an animated typewriter who would type a letter of the alphabet followed by a word beginning with that letter. The typewriter would wheel himself into the scene while humming Noonie Noonie Noo to himself. The word polk is typed on Homestar's chin. Yeah, can you see it right there, guys? Which resembles the piece of paper emerging from the typewriter. If it's polk emerging from the typewriter, then there must have been a lot of P's on the show. That was the letter. Alright, now it's time for the most in the graveyard costumes. Bubs as the Junkyard Dog. The Junkyard Dog was the ring name of Sylvester Ritter, December 13th, December 13th, 1952 to June 2nd, 1998. An American professional wrestler, Ritter was one of the most popular performers of his time. Was known for wearing a dog collar with a long chain around his neck as he entered the ring and also for using his massive upper body strength to slam wrestlers much larger than he was. Coach Z as DJ Lance Rock. DJ Lance Rock is the alter ego of musician and disc jockey Lance Robertson, the host of the Nick Jr. show Yo Gabba Gabba, on which Matt Chapman was writing, directing, and producing for when this cartoon was made. This is the first time a Homestar Runner character dressed as someone from a TV show that began during the 2000s. And I watched Yo Gabba Gabba when I was little, so that's kind of cool. Homestar Runner as Yahoo Serious Lee. Yahoo Serious, born Greg Peed, July 27, 1953, is an Australian film actor, director, and score composer. The costume Homestar is wearing is from the film Young Einstein, where Sirius retold the story of Albert Einstein and played a title role. I kind of had a feeling he was Rumpelstiltskin, the villain of Shrek Forever After, wearing his angry wig, but no, I was wrong. He was Yahoo, seriously. Marzipan as Stevie Ray Vaughan. Stevie, Stephen Ray Vaughan, October 3rd, 1954 to October 27, 1990, was a Grammy-winning American blues rock guitarist whose broad appeal made him an influential electric blues guitarist. Marzipan's guitar has Stevie Ray Vaughan's initials on it, much like many of Stevie Ray Vaughan's own guitars did. Strong Bad as the cover Strong Bad as the planet on the cover of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is a series of 5 comedy science fiction novels by Douglas Adams, based on his BBC radio series. The planet sticking out its tongue that Strong Bad is dressed up as is called the Cosmic Cutie, and first appeared on the original American release as seen on the anniversary edition of the first book. It is still regularly used on reissues and collections. According to the alt fan Douglas Adams FAQ list, Adams had said, "I hate the little green blob and has spent years locked in arguments with my publishers with me trying to get rid of the obscene little thing." So Strongbad doesn't know what the planet is, though. He just saw it on the sassy planet on the cover of one of Strongsad's apparently stupid books and thought it looked cool. So don't ask him what the answer is to life, universe, and everything. He doesn't know. Strong Mad as a Thwomp, one of my favorite costumes of Strong Mad. Thwomps are giant stone enemies found in the Mario universe, originating in Super Mario Bros. 3, usually found in castles. The Thwomp's primary form of attack is to drop from a great height onto Mario and within close range, when then float back up to where it came from. Strongman's costume resembles Thwomp's found in Super Mario World, which had animated faces with mouths that opened as they dropped to the ground, though they wouldn't gain the distinctive red eyes featured on the costume until later in the series. The Cheetah's Drywall. Drywall is a character from the comic book series SCUD, Scud, the Disposable Assassin. He is known for having an unlimited amount of storage space inside his body and unintelligible speech. The King of Town as Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty is the best known of many simply drawn fictional characters produced by the Japanese company Scenario. She was also named the ambassador of Japanese tourism in China and Hong Kong in 2008. This costume could be considered to be in line with the King of Town's habit of dressing up as food-related character, though it's probably erasers that he thought he thought was food. He reveals that his favorite candy is Hello Kitty erasers, which Strong Breath thinks is erasers, but the King of Town thought was candy. The King of Town wears the Hello Kitty bow over his right ear, the opposite ear to the one that Hello Kitty normally wears it. But the same ear has her twin sister Mimi White. The Poopsmith as Dr. Zoidberg. Dr. John Zoidberg is a character from the animated series Futurama. Although he knows nothing about humans, he serves as the doctor for the crew of sorry, Planet Express. Zoidberg is a lobster-like alien from the planet the Cat Pod 10. I think I saw him that character on a Hulu commercial at my orthodontist um office on the TV in the waiting room, so that's kind of cool. Strong side of Sam Kinison. Sam Kinison, December 8th, 1953 to April 10th, 1992, was a stand-up comedian known for his vitriolic humor. His breakthrough appearance came in 1984 during the ninth annual Young Comedians special on HBO. Kinson later appeared on the television series Charlie Hoover as the title character's inner voice. Sorry, water break, hold on. Wait, sorry. Pom Pom as SCUD. SCUD, or Scuds, are mass-produced robot assassins from the comics series SUD, Scud, the disposable assassin. Pom Pom has fingers taped to his pistols to simulate the character's extending his pinkies while while wielding a gun. Homestar is Captain Caveman. Captain Caveman, voiced by Mel Blanc, is a cartoon character who is, according to the introduction to his 1977 to 1980 cartoon series, the world's first superhero. Also known as KV, Captain Caveman was assisted by the Team Angels after they thawed him out of a block of ice. Captain Caveman and his son, KV Jr., later appeared in their own set of cartoons aired as part of the 1980s cartoon The Flintstone Kids. Alright. Next is Doomy Tales of the Macabre. I like this part of the. I like Strong Man, and the Cheats costumes a lot. So in this one, Doomy Tales of the Macabre, Strong Sad's angry that the other characters didn't invite him to the Halloween party, so he wrote Doomy Tales about him. So let's see what costumes were being worn during that time. Strong Sad is Doyle from the Misfits. Doyle Wolfgang von Frankenstein, born Paul Caiafa, was the guitarist for the horror punk band The Misfits, which was founded in 1977 by his older brother Jerry only Gerald Caifa and Glenn Anzalone. Played with the band from 1980 until its disbanding in 1983, and began from its reformation in 1995 until 2000. Doyle has since gone on to play in various other bands, including one that bore his name. The King of Town as Colonel Mustard. Colonel Mustard is a character in the board game Clue, known outside America as Cluedo. Bad's remarks about the costume refer to the clues used in figuring out who done it. The item the King of Town is holding is the rope, one of 6 potential weapons in the game. Let me guys know in the comments if you played Clue. I don't think I have. Maybe I have, but I don't think so. Marzipan as Lola. Lola is the eponymous character in the 1998 film Run Lola Run, played by Franca Potenti. In the film, Lola has 20 minutes to earn 100,000 Dios dish marks and save the life of her boyfriend Manny, who was supposed to give the money to a criminal boss but lost it. 3 different versions of the events are shown in the movie. Homestar Runner as Crispin Glover. Sorry, as Homestar Runner as Crispin Glover as Reuben Farr. Reuben Farr is a character portrayed by actor Crispin Glover in the 1991 film Reuben and Ed. 4 years earlier, Glover appeared in character as Reuben in a notorious interview on Late Night with David Letterman. Coetzee as Mixed Scat Rat. Sorry, Coetzee as Mixed Scat Cat. I thought it was Mixed Scat Rat, but maybe it's a typo. I don't know. Mixed Scat Cat is an animated feline rapper who made his debut in the 1989 music video for Paula Abdul's Opposite Attract in 1991. He released an album, The Adventures of Mixed Scat Cat and the Stray Mob. I think it's Rat though, and they just did a typo. I don't know, but I'm sure it is. Bubs as Julius Winfield. Julius Winfield is a contract killer played by La- sorry, Samuel L. Jackson in the 1994 film Pulp Fiction. Winfield works in the tandem with Vincent Vega, John Travolta in the film in order to retrieve a briefcase stolen from their boss, Marcellus Wallace. Pom Pom as Puka. The Puka is the main type of enemy in the 1982 Namcom game Dig Dug. The Poopsmith pops him in the same way Pukas are killed in Dig Dug. Speaking of which, the Poopsmith as Gorin King Darinia. Darinia, the name is misspelled in the tune, is the leader of the Gorons in The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. One of the tasks Link must perform is to play Saria's song for him in which he dances, much like the Poopsmith. Homestar as Little Orphan Annie. Little Orphan Annie is a fictional character who was created by Harold Gray, appearing in her own newspaper comic strip from 1924 until 2010. Annie's popularity grew to the point where she was made the subject of several films, a 1940s radio series, and the 1977 Broadway musical that was itself adapted for the movies in 1982 and again in 2014. Hamsar's hat is dressed as Oliver Daddy Warbucks, Annie's adoptive father. Strong Mad as Style from Dire Straits' Money for Nothing. The 1985 music video for Money for Nothing by Dire Straits, featuring groundbreaking for the time computer animation. The video portrayed two disgruntled working class men, Sal and Harv, moving moving appliances such as refrigerators and televisions while commenting on rock music videos. His line in the Easter egg, "Mova Mova," is a lyric from the song. The Cheetah's the Lorax. The Lorax is a character created by Dr. Seuss, whose job is to protect and speak for the trees in an environmentalist story. The cheat lifts himself away much like the Lorax does in the cartoon, and the useless podium is a clue to the solution to the tree problem addressed in the story. The pink cloth next to the cheat when he is first shown is a Thneed. It is a fictional all-purpose item made from the truffula trees, which the Lorax tries to protect during the story. And finally, Strong Badass as Skull Kid. The Skull Kid is an antagonist in The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Originally a mischievous forest-dwelling imp, he becomes possessed by the Tutelar Mask and gains supernatural powers. He wreaks havoc on the land of Termina, including forcing the moon to crash into the planet in 3 days. So we can also click here and I guess listen to the music video on YouTube for money for nothing, but we're not going to do that here. Sorry, but no, you guys can do that yourself. Next, moving on, we have Witchween costumes. So the idea of Witchween costumes is sort of different from the Halloween Toons. So I'll tell you when this loads. There we go. So the Homestar Runner Toons makers forgot to do a Halloween tune in 2010. So they did instead do a Decemberween and Halloween tune where the characters are dressed up as Decemberween characters. To make up for the one for them missing the chance to do a Halloween one. So, Bubs as dead guy from Die Hard. Tony Versky, the actual name of the character, was one of Hans Gruber's henchmen in the 1988 action film Die Hard, which was centered around a robbery on Christmas Eve in Los Angeles. After Detective John McClane killed Tony, he wrote a message on his shirt, the same one seen here, to taunt Gruber and his other henchmen. Now I have a machine gun. Ho ho ho. The King of Town as Heat Miser. The Heat Miser is a character from the Rankin slash Bass stop motion animated special The Year Without a Santa Claus. He provides warm weather to the world and has a perpetual rivalry with his brother, the Snow Miser, who provides cold weather to the world. Strong Mad as the Abominable Snowman. The Abominable Snowman, called Snowman in the tune, is a character from the Rankin slash Bass stop motion animated special Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. He kidnapped Rudolph's parents and girlfriend, but was defeated by Rudolph and his friends, and later enlisted as a tree decorator for Santa's workshop. Pom Pom as a snow globe. A snow globe is a popular decoration and Christmas gift. Pom Pom Snow Globe is a recreation of the scene in the field, with several variations. And it says Free Country USA. That's pretty cool. I'd like to have a snow globe like that. The Poopsmith as Volder. Volder is the main antagonist from the 1964 science fiction B-movie Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. The film is generally regarded as one of the all-time worst and gained modern notoriety when it was featured on an episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000 in the 1990s. Coach Z as question mark question mark question mark. Coach Z is dressed as the wrapping paper, used as both a play on words with wrapping paper, which is traditionally used to wrap gifts, as well as a nod to Coach Z's long-standing reputation of dressing up as a rapper for Halloween. Coach Z is not actually dressed up as a wrapping paper, but as a sheet of loose-leaf notebook paper. The cheat as Max. Max is the Grinch's dog from Dr. Seuss's children's book and animated special How the Grinch Stole Christmas. In the book, Max is given an antler, sported by the cheat, to wear on his head to help him resemble a reindeer. Strong Badass Fragile Lamp. This lamp in the shape of a woman's leg was the major award Ralphie Parker's father received in a box labeled Fragile, which he pronounced Fragile, in A Christmas Story. Ralphie's father regards this as one of his most prized possessions, but his mother hates it and later breaks it while watering a plant. Marzipan is Cindy Lou Who. Cindy Lou Who is a character from Dr. Seuss's children's book How the Grinch Stole Christmas. She is the only one who in Whoville who witnesses the Grinch attempting to steal Christmas. Although she mistakes him for Santa Claus, and the Grinch claims he only intended to repair a light on her parents' Christmas tree, Marzipan, sorry, tree. Marzipan's costume is specifically based on the design from the 1966 Chuck Jones animated adaptation. Homestar as the alien super being. The alien super being is a character from Christmas on Mars, an independent psychological science fiction film by the rock band The Flaming Lips. Played by frontman Wayne Coyne, the alien super being is a Martian, the protagonist Major Sturtis encounters on a newly colonized Mars. Assumed to be just another human-driven insane, the Martians sorry, the Martian becomes a makeshift replacement for Santa and Citrus's Christmas pageant about the first colonist baby. And finally, Strong Sad as Ralphie Parker. Ralphie Parker is the main character in the film A Christmas Story. Specifically, Strong Sad's costume is of Ralphie in the pink bunny suit his Aunt Clara made for him for Christmas, which his mother forces him to wear despite his objections. After further objections from his father, Mrs. Parker agrees to only have him wear it when his Aunt Clara visits. And so you can also see different Decemberween tunes in here. They call the Christmas Decemberween. But moving on, we have I Killed Pom Pom. Not on purpose, by accident. So let's get into it. Alright, so moving on. I Killed Pom Pom costumes. Homestar runner as Tobias Funk. Tobias Funk is a character on the sitcom Arrested Development played by David Cross. He suffers from being a never nude, a condition he manages by always wearing a pair of jean cutoffs in an attempt to serve as understudy for the Blue Man Group. He painted himself blue. A running joke on the show was that he would leave blue handprints around the house, like the one that shows up at Marzipan's house. Strong Badass Mac Tonight. Mac Tonight was a McDonald's mascot that first appeared in 1986 and was used in an attempt to lure customers to the restaurant for dinner. Played by actor Doug Jones, Mac had a crescent moon for a head, wore a suit and sunglasses, and was depicted as being a jazzy lounge singer. The name was a parody of the song Mac the Knife, the song that played over the advertisements called It's Mac Tonight. Was also a variant on that song, but with McDonald's themed lyrics at the end. Strong Bad spoofs the jingle in question. But Bubs as Adam Yauch as MCA as Nathan Wind as Cochise. Adam MCA Yauch, 1964 to 2012, was a member of the rap rock trio The Beastie Boys, alongside Mike D, Diamond and Adam Ad Rock, Horace Diviz. Bubs' costume is of Yauch as he appeared in the music video, Content Warning, for the Beastie Boys' 1994 song Sabotage, which was stylized after 1970s crime shows. MCA played the actor Nathan Wind, who played the cop Cochise. Cochise. The video was directed by Spike Jonze. Cochise as A Tribe Called Quest. This costume references the character commonly featured on hip-hop group A Tribe Called Quest album covers. Most famously on the low end theory and Midnight Marauders. The King of Town as Ram Man. Ram Man was a member of the heroic warriors from the Toyline TV show and comic series He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. As his name suggests, he is a human battering ram, a power which he employs by running into things with his flap-topped helmet, using his speed and super strength to create momentum. The Poopsmith as Mean Machine Angel. Mean Machine Angel is a recurring villain from the Judge Dredd comic series. Rebuilt as a cyborg to fit in with the Angel family's gang, the dial on his head changes the level on his of, aggression on a scale of 1 to 4. He enjoys headbutting opponents with his metal skull, which sometimes causes his dial to get stuck on 4.5. His human left arm was lost in a battle with Dread. Homestar as Dungeon Master. Dungeon Master was a mysterious guide for the protagonists from the 1980s Dungeons and Dragons cartoon series. I guess not a lot to tell about Dungeon Master, but he's still pretty cool. Pom Pom as King Size Homer. Pom Pom is dressed as Homer Simpson, specifically as he appeared in the Simpsons episode with the same title as his costume. In the episode, Homer becomes morbidly obsessed, so he can go on disability and work from home to avoid daily calisthenics he is being forced to do. Pom Pom is wearing a moo and white hat outfit that Homer purchased once his clothes stopped fitting. Strongman as Goro. So Strongman as Goro is right there in the middle of Strong Side and the King of Town. So he's right there in the middle. And he's got the yin and yang symbol on his belt and a lot of arms. That's pretty cool. So Strongman as Goro. So Strongman as Goro. Goro is a character from the Mortal Kombat series of video games. He is a four-armed half-human, half-dragon and appears as the second to last boss in the original Mortal Kombat game. In that game, he was touted to a 400-year undefeated champ to as a 500-year undefeated champion of the Mortal Kombat fighting tournament. Oops, hold on, sorry. The Cheetah Spaceman Spiff. Spaceman Spiff is an alter ego of Calvin in the comic strip Calvin and Hobbes. The adventures of Spiff often see him crash landing on distant planets and encountering strange aliens, which usually turn out to be figments of Calvin's imagination running away with him. Strong side as Pale Man. Pale Man is one of the creatures in Guillermo del Toro's 2006 film Pan's Labyrinth. The protagonist, Ophelia, gets assigned with retrieving a dagger from his lair. She fails to heed the warning not to eat any of Pale Man's food and almost gets eaten herself as punishment. As Strongsad's costume attempts to illustrate, Pale Man's eye sockets are in his hands. Pale Man was played by Doug Jones, the same actor who portrayed Mac tonight, who Strongbow was dressed up as in that tune, so that's pretty cool. And then finally, Marzipan as Tom Servo. Tom Servo is one of the robot co-hosts of the television series Mystery Science Theater 3000. Along with Crow T. Robot and the human co-host, Tom would watch many science fiction B-movies from the early days of the genre and making fun of them. Alright, final tune of the day. The House That Gave Sucky Tricks. Don't worry, there are still more tunes, but we'll have part two come soon. But for now, final tune of the day, the house that gave Sucky Tricks costumes. Not to be confused with the house that gave Sucky Treats costumes, which we already did. Alright, so let's get started. Strong Mad as TiVo. TiVo is a digital video recording device that enables users to record and store programs on the device for future watching. Its logo, its logo, which is the basis of Strongman's costume, is a smiling television set with feet. Yeah, it's his TV right there. The cheetah's Fudgy the Whale. Fudgy the Whale is the primary mascot of the Carvel chain of ice cream shops. Fudgy is one of Carvel's most popular cake designs, and many cakes play on his name and are written with "to a whale" of a blank. Strong bad as David Lee Roth. David Lee Roth is a rock and roll singer who is most famous for being the original lead singer of the band Van Halen. Strong Bad's costume specifically depicts Roth's face on the cover of his 1986 solo album Eat 'Em and Smile, which was Roth's first solo effort after being fired from Van Halen in 1985. Roth wears the same costume at the beginning of the video for Yankee Ross. And he also has a cool spear and feather hat. And feathers as a hat. That's pretty cool. Homestar runner as H.I. McDonough. H.I. McDonough is a character played by Nicolas Cage in the 1987 Coen Brothers film Raising Arizona. The film follows Hi and his wife Ed, played by Holly Hunter, as they kidnap a baby from a rich family. Homestar's costume depicts a famous scene in the film where Hi robs a convenience store, stealing diapers for the infant. Diaps right there. Marzipanist Captain EO. Captain EO is the title of a 1986 Disney sci-fi short film who helps bring peace to a dystopian planet through music. Title character, if I forgot to say character. Dystopian planet through music. The film starred Michael Jackson and was conceived by director Francis Ford Coppola and executive producer George Lucas, who did like Star Wars and Indiana Jones music, so that's pretty cool. Captain EO was an attraction at Disney's four major theme parks until 1998, then returned in 2010 as a tribute to Jackson following his death the year before. At the time, this tune was released in October 2015. Captain EO was still being shown at Walt Disney World. It was retired in December of that year. Um, the King of Town, the King of Town as Devil's Tower mashed potatoes. Devil's Tower is an actual mountain located in Wyoming that played an important role in the plot of the film Close Encounters of the Third Kind. During the course of the film, a replica of the mountain is built several times by electrician Roy Neary, Richard Dreyfuss, using several items including mashed potatoes. The Poopsmith as Fade Rutha. Feyruttha Harkonnen is a central character in the Dune series of novels created by Frank Herbert. The Poopsmith's costume depicts Feyruttha as portrayed by Sting in the 1984 film adaptation of Dune directed by David Link. Hamsar as Fidget. Fidget, played by Kenny Baker, is one of a band of six dwarves who appear in the 1981 Terry Gilliam Gilliam fantasy film Time Bandits. The dwarves travel through time looking for treasure to steal. The night as Astropop. It says it right there, Astropop. Astro so the night as Astropop. Astropops are cone-shaped lollipops supposedly designed to resemble rocket ships. Originally launched in 1963 by a pair of astrophysics, the candies were originally discontinued in 2004, but still have since been revived. Well, that's pretty good. Strong side is Cameron Fry. Cameron Fry is a character played by Alan Ruck in the 1986 film Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Despite being his best friend, Ferris describes Cameron as highly uptight, which is part of the reason why Ferris convinces Cameron to cut school with him. Strongstad is dressed in the hat and Detroit Red Wings hockey jersey Cameron wore during the titular day off. Coatsy as Andre 3000. Andre 3000 is the stage name of rapper Andre Benjamin, who performs with Antoine Big Boy Patron and Atlanta-based hip-hop duo Outkast. Coatsy's costume, or more realistically costumes, makes reference to the music video for the 2003 Outkast single "Hey Ya," and a parody of the Beatles' appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show. Andre 3000 portrays each member of the fictitious band The Love Below. Coachy dresses as the following: Possum Jenkins, Benjamin Andre, The Haters Andre, Ice Cold 3000, and Dookie. Before we continue, let me just click on this for a sec. And just wait for it to load. Just hold on a sec. There you go. Just so you guys can get a better view of Coachy's costume. So, yeah, they all look pretty cool. This one looks like he's wearing a crown. So yeah, they're all pretty cool. I like this one a lot. And this one. And this one's pretty cool too. I think those are personally my top 3 favorites. But going back to the tune, Bubs as Chuck Barris. Chuck Barris, 1929 to 2017, is a former television producer who found success as a creator and producer of game shows in the 1960s and 1970s. One of these was The Gong Show, a talent competition where celebrity panelists could use a hammer like the one Bubs is holding to strike a giant gong on stage to stop a poor performance by a contestant. Barris also served as host of The Gong Show, and one of his trademark quirks on the show was to wear hats that often would cover his eyes, like Bubs' hat. So there's the hat and the gong, which is pretty cool. Finally, we have Pom Pom as Wilson. Wilson is the volleyball that Chuck Nolan, played by Tom Hanks, was left to talk to while stranded on a remote island in the film Cast Away. Wilson got his face when Chuck touched him with his bloody hand while shifting through the wreckage of his crashed airplane. Chuck later became closely attached to the ball, even apologizing to him as he was forced to leave Wilson behind after the ball fell off his makeshift raft. Alright, so that's everyone for today. Let me guys know in the comments down below if you want me to do so don't worry, I have part 2 in the works. But let me guys know in the comments if you want to see me do other things like rejected costumes or other Halloween costumes or Strong Bed's teaser costumes. Like, what would you be interested in after um these 2-part tunes? I'd love to hear all about it. But of course, it's up to you. Leave in the comments below what you liked best. or more specifically, le- leave in the comments below which costume you like best. And just leave me in the comments below which costume you like best, who you're going as for Halloween. And all in all, have a great Halloween, and I'll see you guys next time. Round.